How's everyone doing? Well, the light isn't great, but gratitude is finding the best in every situation. And that's what I'm going to teach and talk about today. But let's see if we can improve it. All right, what can I do to improve the lighting? That's a good question. Let's have a look. Well, I can buy a new laptop. That's on the menu. Let's see. I think it's a case where there's a little bit too much light. Let's have a look. Bright. Hold on a second. Let's see if it's lighter over here. Where is it here? I'm going to figure this out. Get in there. I think it's the quality of this laptop. I should have done it on this phone. Let's have a look. Hold on. That's a bit better. For some reason I'm going to figure this out. Let me see how it looks on this phone. I bet it's better on this phone. It's just easier on the laptop. Light and light. Hold on a second. Oh, we got a ghost in the house. What's that? Nothing surprising. Right, lighting. Let's have a look. That light. Let's try this. Any different? Bit better. That's a bit better. I think there was too many lights on. I want to get this right for future live streams, and I will get this right. Well, all of you are already seeing a good lesson, especially with anxiety. When things don't go the way that you want, you learn to get comfortable being uncomfortable and relax. And this is a whole lesson in and of itself of gratitude. This is what challenges all of us, me included, perfectionism, which has its place. Right, at least you can see me and you can hear me, but the lighting isn't, it's not up to the standard that I want. I'm still going to try and figure it out. It's because it's gotten darker. And yeah, the lighting in here is unbalanced. It's bright here, no light here. Right, then figure this out. Well, whilst you're there, get your questions in. I have a feeling today this is going to be a great stream, and these things happen when you're going to be vulnerable and be more honest and help people. And even when you're going to live your dreams, these challenges, this is all of it. Technological, mental, financial, emotional. It's not like this forever and all the time, but challenges come, and I've learned, and I'm still learning, it's staying calm and composed and not panicking because you feel panic or anxiety and you feel out of control, just accepting it. So already the lessons are coming. I had a feeling today, I made some notes. I've been basically writing a book, writing my story that I've absolutely loved it and enjoyed it. So there's so much that I want to share and can share, but I've realized whatever I share is going to be good enough for people because it's the truth. There's a lot of answers in the story and in the truth, and people can take the bits which feel right for them and inspire them to improve their anxiety, their gratitude, confidence, and everything else. But I'm still not satisfied with this lighting. Let me give it one more shot, and then we'll get into it. Right. So obviously, got to get a new laptop because the camera on this is not great quality like my phone. But doing it on the phone isn't ideal because the battery runs out quick, and I need at least 2 hours, maybe longer, or an hour to do streams because I can't do a 5-minute stream. We're not really going to get much out of that. So a new laptop I'll have to buy this week, put that down on business expenses. And then I've got this one as well. It is a lovely laptop. Right, lighting. How about over here? Or maybe I've just become aware of how the quality isn't as good as my YouTube videos in the camera. Actually, that's a bit better. Yeah, when I come back, that's a bit more clearer. Right, let's go for it. I did the best I can. I can't do any more than that. And that's a good lesson for everyone, me included. And I learned this on my journey, and it used to really torture me with stress, self-criticism, feeling not good enough, never giving myself credit. I'm sure I've seen it with clients. Then one day I got a realization. This was in the lockdown, and I've had this many times. Whenever I feel, or whenever you feel like things are not going the way that you want, or you're not getting the result that you want, or the voices are coming in and saying you're not good enough because of the most smallest thing, which is almost laughable. It will always try and accuse you of not being good enough. If you're not aware of it and you don't know how to step out and say, that's just voices, that's just human nature, that's not true. So I realized in the process of learning, you have to allow yourself to get embarrassed, to get awkward, to feel those feelings of, oh, what are people thinking about me right now? Can I handle that? Yes, you can. And then you can be really positive and say, how can I be a bit better next time? So next time, how can I be more organized for the live stream? How can I make the lighting better? Just come up with a strategy. I can buy a new laptop. I can adjust the lighting in my house, or I can do the live stream on my phone. Right, move on, forget about it, stop the judging, appreciate, have gratitude. What am I grateful for? I'm grateful for that we can still do a live stream. People can see me, they can hear me. Even if one person's listening, even if no one's listening, still good. I get to share my story, I get to inspire people. And if anything, I get to fail. I get to embarrass myself once again. It's not the first time I felt embarrassed. It's not the first time and last that I've embarrassed myself or felt that way, whether that was true or not. And as my dad always says, go out in defeat with honor. You know, take it like a man or take it like a woman, or say, yeah, my pride aside. I've been humbled. I'm embarrassed. I'm ashamed. I've failed at something, but I'm going to learn and get it better next time. And when I gave myself that permission in lockdown, my videos went from really poor quality, shameful, unorganized, unprofessional, lazy, all over the place, to fantastic, because I gave myself permission, liked myself, accepted myself, and said, how can I get a bit better in each video? The audio got better, the sound got better, I got better in the videos, I spoke better, I was more honest, more myself, the fashion got better, the backdrop got better, and you know, I loved it. I didn't worry about what people thought, what they said, because I was happy with it, and people loved it and some didn't. So it'll be the same process with the live stream. And this is the process that changed my life. It saved my life. And this is gratitude. Gratitude is finding something that you're grateful for in yourself, in other people, in the situation, however it plays out. It doesn't matter how big, how small. And it, you know, it's not fake. It's real. You practice it, you experience it, and it's really, really fantastic. Because I remember when I went into Fitzroy Lodge boxing gym, I was scared. I was nervous. I was worried about getting awkward in front of people. I was worried about, you know, the guys down the gym thinking that I was weak and that I wasn't tough, and being exposed for being those things and feeling those things. And, you know, I was 20 years of age. I was new. I was nervous. I was shy. I was awkward. I was sensitive. And I was hurt as well. I was carrying a lot of anger from the past, from the bullying, but I was passionate. I was extremely excited to learn. I wanted to learn. I looked up to these people so much, and I was desperate for their approval. So when I was skipping, you know, the trainer said to me, you know, what on earth are you doing? And I said, I'm skipping. He said, you know, you look ridiculous. You know, have you any? And obviously I was like, okay, how do I improve? And he showed me how to do it. And I remember in that moment feeling deeply ashamed and embarrassed. And I said to myself, you know what, I'm quitting. I was angry at the trainer at the time. I was furious with him for making me feel that way. I would never say it because I respected him and I was afraid of him. It's good. It's good to respect people that are older than you and wiser. And, you know, they're letting me in the gym. They're letting me in their home. I could feel that voice coming, the anger, the insecurity, the immaturity saying, quit, leave, walk out. What does he know? And my heart said, no, you can't do that. You can't do that, Jonathan. You have to listen to this man. You don't know anything. You don't know anything about boxing. You don't know anything about skipping. Respect, listen, learn, continue. So I kept continuing, and my skipping got really good, to the point where the trainer would look and just, you know, he would just nod. Mickey, who I really appreciate, Mickey Carney from Fitzroy Lodge. What an amazing man. How he changed my life. And I got better by not giving up, by not trying to be perfect, which is impossible. It's an impossible ask. It's a catch-22, because if you try to be perfect, you can't do it. And if you try not to be perfect, you can't do it. So you just humble yourself and be grateful. And then you find natural humility and confidence, and then you haven't got to try. You just do it. You just be yourself. But that takes practice, patience, time. It takes a lifetime of practice. But if you practice it, you can get it right now, right in this moment, by surrendering, allowing yourself to resist, be afraid, be scared, worry what people think, go through that conversation, all the thoughts that you're ashamed of, that you don't want to hear, that you don't want. Bring them in. Don't be ashamed of them. Bring them in. They're thoughts. Everybody has them. It's called human nature. It's part of the anxiety. It's part of our survival, that you just accept them. You calm down, you breathe, you relax. And then you find confidence because you've gone through that process, not despite it, not because you avoided feeling embarrassed, feeling ashamed, other people seeing you vulnerable, emotional, out of control. And I also had a terrifying fear growing up of people seeing me confident, even though I wanted that, because I felt conflicted. I felt I did deserve it, and I didn't know how that would feel. And I was frightened of disproving the shame wrong, my insecurities, my deepest anxieties of other people not accepting me and not liking me and attacking me, or just seeing me vulnerable. So to overcome those things, even in a moment, even in a heartbeat, even in a breath, or even for months or years, I was excited, but I was absolutely terrified and I didn't understand it. I had cognitive confusion around these fears and overcoming them. I didn't know what that would feel like. And of course, it would feel like this, how this feels. And it's like, wow, how does this feel? How does it feel to be free and be yourself and accept yourself and all the fears and work through them? Well, it feels amazing. Feels incredible. Feels you're alive. Feel human. Does it feel perfect? No, it doesn't feel perfect, but it's perfect enough. How do I feel? Grateful. When the nerves start to calm and I can get my voice out and I can relax and I'm out of the shame, I'm out of the embarrassment. I'm also not scared to show people the confidence, the humility, and to speak to them and help them and have a great time, live life, and have this feeling, this sense that I'm not better than anybody. I'm not better than anyone, and I want that. That's a great feeling. That's a lovely feeling, and no one's better than me. Whatever they feel, no one's better than anyone. Everyone's got confidence in them, gratitude. They got the right to be a good person, live their dreams, or enjoy each and every day whatever they're doing, whether it's live streaming or boxing or at work or college or university or with family or with friends or traveling or just relaxing, reading a book. So I'm grateful today that the lighting on my live stream isn't up to standard, isn't great. It's interrupted the planned speech I had for today, which I was excited about, but it's made me have this talk, which is probably even better because I didn't plan it. And everybody else has been part of facilitating that. So growing up as a kid, before I had all these anxiety issues and fears and social problems and deep insecurities, I was such a good speaker. I was so good at speaking to people. I was so kind. I was so honest. I was so carefree. I was so trusting. I wasn't ashamed. I didn't have to think about it. I didn't have to try and be someone. I didn't have to read a book. I just was being the person that my parents, born thanks to my parents and who God made me to be, and my nan and my friends and where I come from. It was beautiful. It was easy, but then it became a nightmare, become hell and back after people making fun of me because of my personality and who I was. A lot of people didn't like that, but looking at the positives, so many people did. More people liked me for who I was. They loved me, absolutely loved me. Friends from all different backgrounds, men, women, well, at the time I was younger, guys, girls, their family. Every time I went to a friend's parents for the first time, I always got it. My mum was flattered. I always got, he's lovely, your friend. Bring him in. He's trustworthy. I like him. Always receive love from him. I didn't do anything. I didn't have to trick, manipulate. I didn't have to overextend myself. I just was myself. So it's also gratitude is really being honest about the facts. And I know if I sat any of you down, we sat down together, and it was convenient and respectful and appropriate, and we really got into having an honest conversation about your life, and we examined it. There'll be so many times in your life where you had the same. Once you got out of your deep fears, your anxieties, whatever you're going through, we'll go through stuff. You'd say, "Oh, Jonathan, that time." I'll say, "Oh, that person loved you then." "Oh, that person, yeah, that." So what are you talking about? Your anxiety is tricking you. It lies to you. It can be evil at times. It can lie. It can delete all the good. It can delete all the good things that your family have done, all the good things that your grandparents have done, all the good things that your girlfriend's done, or your boyfriend's done, or all the good memories growing up. It can totally wipe that out and just go, right, we're going to focus on how ashamed this person is and how they feel. And we're going to keep him or her in that place to torture them. But when you become aware, you go, no, oh no, I'm not going to stand for that, because that isn't true. And then we really start to say what one of my old teachers said, Mrs. Charles, who was lovely. She was strict, she was fair, but she was kind and she was loving and she was brilliant, hilarious. She cracked me up. She said, she used to say this saying, now we're cooking with gas, which basically, when the class was misbehaving, she would tell us all off, insult all of us in a kind way, and then we would obviously become conscious, would stop misbehaving, we would respect her. I was scared of her. I respected her, which is good to have that, a healthy fear. And then she'd say, now we're cooking with gas, and she'd be lovely. That's why I mentioned her. So when my mind would occasionally drift into, well, all my school teachers were nasty, they were all evil, they were all abusive, they all hated me. It's not true. It's not factual. It's not the truth. The truth was, there were many good school teachers, but there were some ones that were abusive. But I'm not going to focus on that. Small. So gratitude is really where you put your focus, and it's a lot more. But that's my explanation for being grateful. It's, if you can't be grateful right now in this moment, I understand that. Well, go back into the past and examine your life carefully. Not just from your mind, because your mind will mislead you, from your heart and your mind. And then you'll be like, I can't believe it. I was happy then. I was treated well then. And then it brings you back into the present. So sometimes you've got to go. Sometimes we have, contradictory to popular belief, sometimes we have to go back. We've got to go back to the past to find love, healing, appreciation, good memories, where we done well, where we can improve, and we feel better in the present. I know it works because it just works. Try it. But there is a time where I've had to do it. They've got to come away from the past. It's causing too much pain. It's a distraction. It can be victim mentality. It can be harming you unnecessarily, and you've got to move on. So there's a time and a place to find ways in which you can relieve your suffering and anxiety and build confidence and gratitude and enjoy your life. Any questions anyone has, please put them in the chat. I'll do the best I can to answer them. If I don't have the answer, then I'll tell you. And if I do and I can help you, I will. So anytime put it in, I'm going to continue teaching and reading some stuff that I've wrote. Right. This was inspired by someone who was critical underneath one of my videos yesterday. I appreciate it. I understand where he's coming from, even though I felt what he said wasn't true, but I could understand how he felt, and he had a right for his opinion. And he had stated that I don't give anything, basically I don't give anything to help people online with anxiety. I just talk about the same thing, and all I talk about is acceptance. I see his point. I mean, it wasn't that long ago that I felt the same way he did, even though that isn't true from my point of view. I know it's not true. And if it was true, I could totally handle that and make it untrue by seeing how I could give more and could help people more and help this. I don't know if it's a gentleman or a lady because the name is an alias. So this is inspired by the person who criticized my video. Many people in my life, and this is gratitude in writing some of my story that will help people with anxiety to find gratitude, confidence, healing, and live their dreams. But there's no rush. So let's have a read of this. Let's see. Right. Okay. Education. But by the way, I wrote all of this. This is all my writing. I love writing. I bet a lot of you are good writers. I think everyone is a good writer when they sit down and get focused. Right. So education and understanding of anxiety and anxiety disorder for both men and women who want more out of life and they want to give more to others, which is also known as gratitude, success, living their dreams, purpose, etc. This writing was inspired by criticism that I received yesterday underneath one of my YouTube videos, which I thought the video was brilliant that I done. It was honest, it was brave, it was vulnerable, and my faith gives me the strength to share that vulnerability. And it's also dedicated to all the people that criticized me growing up. And it's also dedicated to all the people that I criticized. We all need forgiveness. We've all done it. So, yeah, so the criticism was that I don't give anything. That's how this person felt for anxiety. And all I talk about is acceptance, even though acceptance is pretty much a huge part of how you overcome anxiety. But I wrote here, I am grateful to have the opportunity to respond in kindness, patience, and peace. We're all guilty of criticizing others, including ourselves. And this is part of having anxiety and having a choice as to how we respond to critics, whether it's ourselves, other people, and our own voices. So, critics and criticism, both internally and externally, destroyed my earlier life all the way up until age 20, when I decided to find my courage and stand up to criticism. I think I've said this before. There's no worse a critic ever on planet Earth, a person online or in person, than this critic up here. No one's ever spoke to me and said the heinous, horrible, evil things at time that this mind has said to me. I say that in gratitude as well. So yeah, I went for a walk in Regent's Park today, which I loved, practiced gratitude. And I sat in a coffee shop in Regent's Park and I put pen to paper and I wrote this. I hope the chat's working. Just someone could just comment in there and I know it's working. I've written hello. Right, let's read this out. Okay. So these are. Oh, great, lovely to see you. How are you doing? You okay? So these are all the things that I struggled with on my journey, which began 20 years ago. 20-year journey from age 20 to age 40. Lovely to see all of you. Get your questions, and I hope all of you are well. So yeah, I went on to write today. Yeah, so the journey began as a 20-year-old, painfully shy, awkward, sensitive, angry introvert who was lost in his life and was desperately looking for answers. That was me at age 20. I wanted to feel human again, like I did as a young kid, when I was caring, kind, easygoing, charming, vulnerable, and trusting and loving